would have, I didn't try to go through the steps myself. I don't know if that would have been easier. It
Yeah.
would have been easier for you because you didn't have to, you wouldn't have to be on the call, but I
It's
don't know
okay.
if
We
it
can
would.
just figure it out as we go.
Okay.
There's a
I'll
couple
just,
settings. Yep.
okay.
The one thing I wanted to try, according to my research, was turning off automatically detecting proxy settings.
Okay.
And then we can also, I believe, internet options, we can add SharePoint as the trusted site. I believe that would be under security, trusted sites. Might have to log in as admin. Okay. Oh yeah, we might need to sign out and log back in as admin. But I guess you're
Oh,
joined on this meeting with Teams, huh?
we could do it. Well, I could try to join on the, well, it's recording.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
I'll just log out.
Sure.
So, you stay on, or, like, should I should I need to shut the computer down?
No, but I'll have to log out for a second and log back in as local admin to change this one setting.
Okay.
Just let me know when you're ready.
So I need to, what do I need to log out on? Do
Oh
I
no,
need to
I'll
go,
log out. Is there anything you need to save just in case?
uh,
Maybe that
no,
Excel sheet.
n- nice. No, everything's closed.
Okay. Well, um,
So
I
should
guess
I shut
I can
off?
log out. I can log out of the computer just temporarily. Maybe it might interrupt the team thing for a second, but then I could just log back in, or you'll be prompted to log back in, and then we can continue from there. Shouldn't take
Okay,
longer
it should
than.
be okay because I'm on the phone.
Oh, okay.
So should I
I'll just
just
log.
shut everything?
No, it's okay. I'll just log out.
Okay. All right.
Might need to find the password here. One moment. Just putting them up.
Any idea where that picture is? I've asked someone before.
In this picture, I think you could go here, learn picture. Oh, oops. It's Rhonda,
Heard of that?
Spain. Okay, well, we might be able to manage these trusted sites elsewhere, but that's fine. We'll just go to the next step. Uh, like you just send back in, Jason.
So we're still recording.
Yep, recording and transcription looks like it's still recording.
But none of the last stuff would have been caught, but that doesn't, we didn't use it anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like we're able to configure that, which is fine. Probably wasn't the issue to begin with, but we're just doing a couple steps here. Clear the I'm assuming you don't use this desktop on like a hotspot at any point, right?
No.
Okay, so it should be safe to just undo that one and Windows and go to.
How does a hotspot work? I'm actually, I've never used
Sometimes you know you have like data on your phone.
it. Okay.
You can share that data that you have on your phone to your computer. Like you can
Okay.
connect to your phone's Wi-Fi basically, and that would be like a hotspot.
But my phone's Wi-Fi uses my internet anyway.
Well, yeah, but if you say you were out of the office, let's say if the computer you're using right now was a laptop, and you
Okay,
were
right.
at a coffee
Okay.
shop and there was no Wi-Fi, you could
Yeah.
share your data.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm just referencing a little sheet I came up with. And this problem, it happens with like Word and Excel.
Um, yeah, and Adobe,
And
uh,
Adobe, like
the PDFs, for
when
instance,
you
if I
save it to the SharePoint or like the OneDrive,
more, it's a lot of times when I attach it to an email, it takes several minutes to attach. It
and it
should
comes
be
up with
just,
that same contacting Microsoft Server little prompt, that tiny window.
no, it doesn't, no, it just takes a long time.
Okay,
It gives the, swirling. 250 is pretty fast, yeah.
yeah, that's pretty good. Uh, Hopefully it's
What would be slow?
probably less than like 20 or 30 would be a little bit concerning.
Okay.
Um, but it's also about like consistency, not just like speeds. Um,
Sometimes when I open the files for Word or Excel, it takes a couple of minutes. It
Couple
should
of
be
minutes.
mostly, or yeah, at least a minute. Enough that I will go do something else.
Right.
Or it'll open and it'll take a minute or two before I can edit it.
God. Um, it looks like you recently reinstalled Office 365. I think we did that for you, right?
I
Little
think so. Yeah,
troubleshooting stuff.
I didn't do that myself. Can it install automatically with the?
Sometimes if it updates in the background, it might change the install
Mhm.
date, but typically no. Typically it should stay like most of the time it won't change.
It was April 22nd, right? That's 3 weeks ago. I don't remember doing.
Yeah. And I'm guessing you have this autosave feature off on purpose, right? I think I remember you saying that.
Yes, yes, yes. It's actually a little bit disconcerting when we first used the system. We all didn't realize autosave was on. Sometimes you could open the file just to, especially with Excel, to say try something alternate,
Yeah.
something alternative, an alternate scenario, and you don't want to save it.
Right.
You kind of want a stable file that is saved at one point. So yeah, we definitely want that on. I mean, the other thing about the issue is that it's very sporadic. Sometimes it's working fine, and other times it appears.
Yeah. That makes me think it might be like an internet issue. Um,
But
or I'm just
at times when I've been having the issue, and I was on the phone with someone from ABS, they might have been new. They did the internet speed, and it was not slow. So
right.
When you say an internet issue, what does that mean?
Um, so while we check here, for example, fast.com and see your peak internet speed, it is good, but depending on your local network infrastructure, say if you're using uh, cable internet, cable
Yeah.
internet is like extremely susceptible to like peak internet usage dips.
Okay.
Do you by chance know if there's like a particular pattern behind when this occurs? Like, does it happen more frequently after 4 or 6, or like, um,
4 6, you mean 4 to 6 p.m.?
correct? Yeah.
Um, I've tried to note that, and I feel like there's really not like I think it's happened on the weekend at times too.
Yeah.
It does seem to happen more. I would feel like in the day when there might be more peak usage. So that's
And just to confirm, sir, you're using like um Google like as an ISP, or do you know who your internet service provider is?
Xfinity.
Xfinity. Okay.
That do you know that one? I mean, that's
Yeah, it's more like American, right?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess they don't have it in Canada. It's also, I mean, I don't know if it used to be Comcast or maybe it still is. It's a bit confusing with sometimes company names.
Right. Okay. So can we close Outlook? Is there? I'm assuming there's nothing that needs to be saved. Any drafts?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah.
I just joined on the laptop.
Okay.
I disconnected on the phone. I don't know if you heard an echo. I did. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
And just to confirm, Jason, Mandy, who's also experiencing this issue, it's exactly the same as in like, sometimes you try to save a Word file and it says contacting Microsoft, something of the like, right?
I don't know if she got the exact same message, but we were working together the other day and she was sort of describing it to me and it sounded very similar.
Right.
I'll confirm with her.
And so you work like from the States, right? Does Mandy also work from the States?
No, she's in Alberta,
Okay.
so I don't know what her internet provider is.
One thing that crosses my mind, and I could be wrong about this, but just
Yeah.
as an idea, I think Dion is relatively like strict with their data providers, like for regulatory reasons. I could be wrong. I think
Yeah.
they've requested for most of their services to be hosted in Canada, for like
Hmm.
law concerns, regulatory concerns. So that might be something to consider. That like you're because typically when most users when they connect to SharePoint, they're connecting not to say a Canadian database or data center. They're connecting to one that's local to them, and the changes are pushed like across data centers after. And I'm just wondering if maybe since you're in America, you're probably connecting to a data center in Toronto or like somewhere in Canada. Maybe that might be one of the issues. And if Mandy
Okay.
was like also in Ontario, maybe that would extinguish that idea. But if she's
Yeah.
also in Alberta, a relatively geographically far place, across Canada, I would presume. I don't know for sure. I'm just kind of spitballing, but that
Yeah.
might be a thing. Um, other than that, we're repairing Microsoft Office 365. We
Yeah.
could do a OneDrive reset, um, quickly reinstall that maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
it's certainly not something we can't work around. It's just sometimes
right,
when, like the other day when we were, in a rush to get something done and she was encountering that problem, then it
right.
becomes an issue. But, most of the time, like I said, if I'm not, um, pressing to get something done,
Uh,
I
okay,
can just, you know, go do something else for a minute or two. But, we may as well try these
for
fixes you're
sure. Yeah.
suggesting. Hopefully that we don't make anything worse, but it's always a chance. I mean, if I encounter new problems, I can just have you undo this, I assume. Although reinstalling the Microsoft doesn't seem like something that would cause new problems.
Sorry, I'm just checking something. Sorry, just on. Huh.
What's the for?
Looks like your DNS server is localhost that this resolves to itself, which means I'm assuming you're on a you're connected to like your home Wi-Fi, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. Do you know if did you change this setting?
No. It must have been done automatically. I mean, I haven't had anybody else on this. I don't know if this is useful information. It's just that when we first started and um, joined with ABS and I got the mini computer that you're on now, it was it took a while for the other for my personal computer, the non-work one, to connect with the server and kind of figure out what it needed to do, even though it was completely connected before. I don't know if that
Okay.
makes any sense, or it's probably just extraneous, non-useful information. So now we have no connection. Well, we have to because you're on it.
Hey, Jason, do you have
Yeah.
the credentials to your home router?
Yeah, I think so. I think let me look at the. Cross your fingers. That didn't work.
Okay, no problem. Might just have to take a second look at this then.
Let me just hit never.
Okay. I'll take a second. I'll revert the changes just so nothing unexpected happens, but we'll take another look at this. Might be one of the issues. Maybe I could also just schedule with Mandy, see if I can.
I just got a message. You see it. Rogers is Mandy's provider. Used to be Shaw.
Right. Okay, that's fine. But let me just.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure we don't make anything worse. That's
Yeah. So I'm just gonna change everything back. So what's this? Um, yes. Oops. I guess this would be my biggest concern. We couldn't even really repair your office installation, it seems. Looks like your device is using itself as a DNS resolver.
what is a DNS resolver? I guess I can look that up.
It's a domain name system resolver. Like when typically computers use IP addresses, like the one
Yeah,
you see up here, to communicate. But for
yeah.
humans, we use like Google.com. All that a
Hmm.
DNS does is really just resolve, um, you know, Google.com to some IP address, whether it be IPv6 or IPv4. It's an authoritative, I think, system. Goes down the line. There's like the root domain servers and et cetera, et cetera. But that doesn't matter. It's just a little bit odd that it seems like your own computers acting like the domain.
This might be something that you can check on Mandy's computer.
Yeah.
Also, Tanya, she's in Chicago as well, but she's in an office. I'm almost exclusively from home.
Okay. I think what I'm going to do, Jason, is I'm just
Yeah.
going to run this by my director and
Okay.
then also maybe just cross-reference with Mandy. I've
Yeah.
reverted any changes. The only things we made changes to are we changed a proxy setting, we changed another setting, and we tried to repair Microsoft 365, but it looks like it wasn't able to connect to Microsoft servers correctly. Like I said, I'm just going to reference my director just to be sure before I change anything. And then I'm
Okay.
also going to check with Mandy. And then could I just reach back to you by email and maybe follow up?
Okay. That sounds good. You might just copy Mandy in also. Well, I was gonna, yeah, just the two of us. That's good.
Sure. Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
Thank you for your time, Jason.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Take
No
care,
problem.
Joseph.
Anytime. Take care.
Bye-bye.